Okay, we're live from Miami. First of all, Rob, thanks so much for being here and for contributing everything that you have to this event.
My pleasure.
In the first question, I'd like to ask you to find within yourself, to find within that deepest part of fulfillment is when you think of what a fulfilled life of happiness, a full life of happiness means for you as an individual, what comes alive for you?
Creativity, creation. And that can be creating experiences for others, like I've done here at the summit with music, creating a movement of people thinking differently about well-being. But on that deep personal level, it's about to be fulfilled, I need to be creating, whether that's writing, whether that's making music, not necessarily for any purpose other than the act of creation in itself. And I think one of the talks that resonated here the most with me was from Dr. Arthur Brooks around left brain, right brain, and that pure act of big thinking, big problem solving, creativity in the right brain is kind of where I like to try and be as much as possible, not in that dopamine fueled likes, tech, social media of left brain. So for me, I like to make a difference in the world. I like to bring joy. My job here is to bring energy. Hopefully I've done that. It seems to resonate for people. So I've created a feeling. But, for me personally, fulfillment comes with creativity.
What form does creativity take from you? When you describe creativity, if it were to take a shape, a form, an abstraction, a color, a weight, if you were to create it as something, what comes up for you?
My immediate feeling was fire. So, and I think there's some good metaphors in that, but that always moving can be quite hot and painful. Requires tending and nurturing. If the conditions aren't there for creativity, that flame could go out. Um, or if you're doing too much as a human being with not enough recovery, it could burn itself out. It could burn too brightly. That was my first one, and I think you said wave. And I think we're all waves, right? Or there's a theory that all matter is waves, and I like that idea also of creative resonance, that we're kind of moving as waves, and it links for me for sound waves and all sorts of good vibrations, that kind of stuff. So I think both work for me, but fire was definitely the first thing that came.
Beautiful. Now, I'll ask you to think about fulfillment. Again, think of all the people in the world out there on paths looking to express their fulfillment in the world. And when you think about our society and those people in the world today, what would you say is some of the biggest obstacles, or even one of the biggest obstacles in the way of fulfillment today for people?
I would say comparison. I think we compare too much, and we've heard that in the speakers at the summit as well. But I think the world forces comparisons upon us, and so our definition of success can often be quite narrow. The financial, what have we got? How many followers have we got? All of that kind of stuff. And for me, I like to broaden a definition of what success is, that doesn't include comparisons. So, for example, my daughter goes to a school where they don't compare against other students. They set a stretch target based on their own potential, and then they push them really hard to exceed potential. And I love that because you're kind of competing and comparing against yourself. But I think comparison can lead to perfectionism, that can lead to rumination, that can lead to anxiety and all sorts of stuff. I think we need to stop comparing. We need to embrace doing and trying and failing and then trying again. We need to be happy with change and feeling uncomfortable and all that stuff we heard from the artist speaker. So for me, I think one of the big barriers to fulfillment is comparison.
When you think about your own work in the world and how you're contributing to a more fulfilled space, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I have one overarching mission, and that's to inspire the creation of mentally healthy workplaces. And I do a bunch of stuff to achieve that, whether it's playing music in workplaces, keynotes, charities, tech solutions. There's a lot of things on that mission, but for the last 8 years, that has been my kind of purpose, my meaningful activity. And so what I try to do is get people thinking differently about their well-being and understanding that we need to be intentional about managing it, understanding that it's an essential component of sustainable performance, understanding it's not just a nice to have or something to focus on when we start struggling. It's a beautiful opportunity to kind of be more human, and contribute to all areas of life that you'd want to contribute in.
If I'm running a company or a group, if I just want to connect with you to, get more of Rob, what's the best way for me to do that?
Yeah, LinkedIn is probably the best way. LinkedIn, Rob Stephenson, Stephenson with a PH, little octopus at the end of my name, because the octopus is a very cool, curious creature that changes colour when it's expressing emotion, and I like that idea. So yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn, and would love to try and support businesses and workplaces and whoever on this mission.